Wisicum 243.
Where are we going?
Wisicasset.
No, we're not going to Lacey.
No.
Now you lost Lacey.
Yes.
You have to do 2 good trips before you get Lacey back.
Yes.
Last week you wouldn't wake up. The
Yes.
week before you hit Nick.
Take it to Facebook and try to take it offline and whatever. So, there's a lot of noise in our industry, and any industry you look at, really, you find it, but there's just so much noise these days, all these top 10 lists and...
Welcome to the Sprouting Photographer Podcast. Proven strategies, interviews, and insights that help professional photographers with the business of being creative. Here's your host, Brian Caparici.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Brian Caparici, and welcome to episode 231 of the Sprouting Photographer Podcast. Today's episode is another Beyond the Webinar episode.
You can buy one, but I have Law and Order with me.
Yeah. 258.
No, I have the 4th season.
Yeah.
Season 4.
Season 4.
If you are...
Yes.
I'm with my friend Ben Hartley from SixFigurePhotography.com. Ben, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey Brian, thank you so much for having me, and congratulations. Gosh, your family's expanding. You got a little boy. Thanks for taking the time to spend this with me. My gosh.
Thank you. And it's funny to address you by the name Ben.
Ben
in a lot of different ways for the past couple of weeks because our son, who is now 3 weeks old, his name is Ben.
Oh, Brian, do you call him Ben, Benji,
Yes.
Benjamin? Do you have any other nicknames?
His full name is actually Benjamin, so that's his name, but we've now already found that there's many different variations of that, which I'm sure you can attest to over 20-some-odd years of life. But
Than your logo. It's more than your here was to go through five branding mistakes that you may not know you're making and how to fix them. 5 things that I think greatly influence your brand. And so very briefly, the 5 points that we addressed. An amazing headshot. That your headshot should be the best photograph on your website. Number 2 is that copywriting is as important, if not more, than your images. That you can't just have a homepage, with a slideshow of photographs. There should be words, copy to go along with that. Number 3 is that, look, we are photographers. Yes, we're creative, we're artists, but we are not graphic designers, with a little asterisk that says, unless you are.
Right.
If you are a graphic designer, then forgive me. But I just see too many photographers in the space, myself included, when I started. Trying to take on these design projects, designing our own logos and all this kind of stuff that
Cookies.
looking towards actual designers to do. Number 4 was probably one of my favorites to talk about, and that is the way that how we choose to handle conflict, how much it greatly affects your brand. Not a lot of people talk about conflict resolution, and the reality is you won't be able to make every client of yours happy. Things are going to happen in your control or out of your control, and the way that you respond is going to be huge. Okay, sorry. And the last 5 on the list is the importance of niching down in regards to your brand. That when a client hears your brand, and hears the name of your business, whatever comes to mind for them is essentially your brand. That is your brand. Perception is your reality. And so, if on your website you've got your concert photography, personal work, dogs, babies, engagements, senior pictures, and weddings, and you're trying to gain more wedding clients for next year, when a client thinks about your brand, they're not going to be able to think about anything but everything. And in result, your brand kind of becomes this wishy-washy mess. So anyhow, niching down the importance of that. So there you go, man. That's my... I just read through those. There was the 5 that I discussed and unpacked.
Awesome. And again, we'll link that over in the show notes. So if those topics, if you kind of want the basics on those in the webinar that Ben did with Shoot.edit. We'll link that in the show notes. You can jump around it. And just quickly, I want to just share. Number 4, you said how we handle conflict, and I totally agree that the customer experience and the customer service, it's often talked about in the positive way, right? In the sense that like we have to design these beautiful experiences and give delight and surprise, and I've taught on that as well. But I think not often enough do we talk about what happens when shit hits the fan, right? When things go wrong. How do we deal with that? How do we deal with complaints? How do we deal with someone that has an issue with something that we're doing? As a quick side note, just as a totally shameless plug for us, I actually interviewed back on episode 154 of this podcast one of our own customer service representatives here in Sprout Studio, Nick Martin, who's actually is a career customer service representative. He's traveled around the world training and teaching customer service to call centers and phone reps and various things like that. And we talked about that and how you deal with complaints and how you deal with issues in your business. And it was a great episode. And it was just so enlightening for our listeners because we got a lot of feedback from it saying this kind of thing is never really discussed, yet it's so important to do and to really hit properly in your business in order to have long-term success. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, Ben, as sort of as a big part of branding as running a successful business.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. And it's one of those things too where I think we often like to think that nothing's gonna go wrong, like that our clients love us and we treat them so well, that even if we did take a maybe not the greatest shot or we missed one, that they're gonna have grace and forgive us and all that stuff. And that's a great way to think, but sometimes too it'll just be things that are 100% out of your control, that just happen. You'll have a bride and you think she's the greatest bride ever and you rock the photographs, but she's not happy with the way that she just looks, right? Just like, what do you do in those situations? So we have to be ready to handle those things. And sometimes we have to be ready when we're not ready.
And when I phrase it that way, oftentimes photographers will say, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And I say, well, that's what selling is. Communicating value because you truly do believe that you are the best solution based on a needs assessment, based on a conversation that you've had with them. And I think that this relates to branding in the sense that you might be the greatest photographer. You